During my third year at university, I met Lena. She wasn't just beautiful. She had this effortless charm that drew everyone in, like a light you couldn't help but notice. She didn't need to be loud or showy. Her presence alone was enough to make any room feel alive. I was quieter, more reserved, just another face in the crowd, but I couldn't stop watching her from a distance, captivated by the way she moved through the world. It started with a group project in class. I tossed out a clumsy joke that somehow made her laugh, a real laugh, not the kind people fake to be polite. That small moment gave me the courage to talk to her more. Over the next few weeks, we'd chat in the cafeteria or linger after lectures. She'd rant about annoying professors or share random stories that made her laugh, and I'd listen, soaking in every word. In those moments, I felt like I was getting closer, like maybe I was starting to matter to her. We weren't officially together, but there were signs. I'd drive her home sometimes. She kept one of my jackets and never returned it, and late at night, when she couldn't sleep, she'd call me. I always picked up. But there was another side to Lena, one I tried to ignore. She thrived on attention, especially from her circle of friends. Polished girls who looked like they belonged in a magazine, and guys who fed off everyone's approval. Around them, I faded into the background. Worse, I became their punchline. It started small but stung deeply. At a party she'd invited me to, one of her friends smirked and said, "Oh look, your shadow's here." The room laughed, Lena included. She didn't defend me, instead she shrugged and said, "He's always around, I'll give him that." I forced a grin, swallowing the embarrassment. Another time, at a cafe with her group, I started telling a story, and she cut me off with a mocking, "He's trying so hard, isn't he?" The table erupted in laughter, and I shrank, feeling like a kid begging for scraps. Still I stayed. I told myself if I held on, she'd see me for who I was. Then came her birthday party. A massive, chaotic house party with thumping music and people dressed to impress. I showed up with a small gift, a rare book she'd mentioned once in passing. I thought it'd mean something that I remembered. She barely glanced at it, muttered a quick thanks, and tossed it onto a pile of unopened presents. Later that night, someone passed around a list of dares. One of the guys challenged Lena to call the guy most obsessed with her and tell him she'd never be interested. The crowd cheered her on. She grabbed her phone, grinned, and dialed me on speaker. "Hey," I answered, oblivious to the setup. "Just wanted to say, stop trying so hard." "It's not happening," she said, her voice sharp with amusement. The room exploded in laughter, someone yelling, "Brutal." I hung up, my face burning, the humiliation sinking in. I didn't text her back. I didn't show up the next day. I ignored her messages because she did message me. First, it was a half-hearted sorry if that was harsh. Then a casual, "You know it was a joke, right?" When I didn't respond, she went quiet. Days turned into weeks. At first, she seemed fine, but then mutual friends started saying she'd been asking about me. "Is he upset? Is he with someone new? He's acting different." I wasn't acting. I was done. I deleted her number, stopped checking her socials, and started living for myself. I threw myself into work, started going to the gym, and hung out with people who didn't make me feel like an afterthought. Then one day, there was a knock at my door. It was Lena, no makeup, no sharp wit, just her. "I've been thinking," she said softly, "about that night about you." I stayed silent. She went on, "You were always there for me, and I took it for granted. I was stupid. I didn't think you'd actually leave." I looked at her and said, "I didn't leave. You pushed me away." She paused, then asked, "Is there someone else?" I smiled, not to hurt her, but because I finally felt free. "Yeah," I said. "Me." Her eyes glistened, no smirk, no comeback, just a flicker of regret. For the first time, she wasn't the one in control. She was chasing the space I'd left empty, and I was already moving on.